I am coming to you today with a story that I literally just found out about today, although it is uh, over a month old at this point. I think there was so much going on with the Shanquilla Robinson story and all the other stuff that this story was getting suppressed. And I want to do my part on today, now that I'm aware of it, to share it with more people to hopefully get the word out so that we can get justice for Rasheem Carter. So also don't forget, with this platform, please like this video to help it reach even more people. Subscribe if you haven't already. This is a great place to be. We have a community outside of this YouTube channel. We have our Vale's Important People communities, and we have a VIP text community, as well as, I'll put it up. Yep, scrolling across the bottom of your screen for a minute. The VIP text community, so you can get updates on this channel. It's a way I communicate, way I let everyone know that I was going live impromptu this evening, as well as our Facebook, private Facebook group community, and also our Patreon, which is a couple weeks old. And we'll be going live on Patreon with our after show, Vale Unfiltered, where we'll just continue the conversation and shenanigans as we do over here. So back to the main reason we are here this evening, the tragic story of Rasheem Carter. So basically, in summary, for me, when I read this story, which was like, this ish is happening in modern day, it just lets you know that that Jim Crow ish is not dead. It is still occurring present day. And this 25-year-old young man, unfortunately, was the latest known victim of it. And it was very reminiscent as I was reading up on the story and finding out more and just all over the internet, that it was just starting to be very reminiscent of the Emmett Till story. I don't know how many of you are familiar with that. There's been now a couple series and the movie that was out recently, but it's like 67 years after the taking of the life of Emmett Till at the age of 14. And I really want to say the words, but it's YouTube. Y'all know how they do. So, but the tragic taking of Emmett Till and what they did to him seems not far from the fate of this young man as well. So, according to, there's been a few articles out about it. There's a few newscasts, etc. But just the backstory on this particular story. The family of this Fayette man who disappeared in early October ended with his remains on a piece of private land in Taylorsville. And hold on, y'all, I'm trying to get my screen together. That's why I'm stumbling. Bear with me. Empty at work. Okay, so his remains were found on a private piece of private land in Taylorsville, Mississippi, and his family, and now us, are now seeking answers and justice for Rasheem. So it says he was described by his family as intelligent, hardworking, and a giving young man. And he was actually also the father of a 6-year-old. The father of a 6-year-old. It says that 6-year-old girl. And it says he was a welder and a millwright, and he loved to cook and owned a seafood restaurant in Fayette. He would have seafood boils for the Harrison community where everything was free to them. He also loved sports, dancing, seeing other people's success in life, and said his mother, Tiffany Carter. It goes on to talk about his impact, and it says on September the 26th, Rasheem Carter started a job for the Georgia Pacific Company in Taylorsville. He was staying at a Super 8 motel in Laurel, roughly 20 miles east of where he worked. Um, so what happened was he was a contractual worker for Georgia Pacific, and so he had a work assignment that sent him into this particular area. He was staying though 20 miles outside of the area at a Super 8 hotel, and he was commuting into work daily. When he got the assignment and he was heading to where he was going to be at for his contractual job, his car broke down 2 hours outside of where he needed to be. And he was such a hard worker and relentless that he actually hitchhiked his way to where he needed to stay, the Super 8 motel. And then he connected with his roommate, another worker who was sharing a room with him. And this particular person was also giving him a ride to and from work. Well, something occurred between the two of them, some sort of disagreement where the roommate was like, well, I'll take you to work today, but I'm not bringing you back home. And so Rasheem, being the dedicated worker he is or was, decided that, I'll go to work and I'll figure it out on my way home. So we get into the story. It says, he called his sister. So it says he started riding to and from work with his coworkers. And then they talked about the disagreement. It says he called he called my sister 1,300 miles away, and we started calling relatives to find someone to pick him up. So now he's off of work and he's trying to find a way home. He's not having luck. And so he's now reaching out to his family who were not anywhere near him. They're back at home, 1,300 miles plus away, and he's trying to somehow, I guess there's no Ubers out in the boonies, and so he's trying to find someone to be able to get him a ride home. He's not having luck going anywhere asking people for rides. It says in their phone correspondence, his mom mentioned to his family he mentioned to his mom that he was being followed by a white truck with white men inside. He also mentioned going into a store and quickly leaving out when he heard the cashier say, he's in here. So someone called the cashier while he was in the store, and she picks up and she says, he's in here. And so he booked it out of there. It says he went to the Taylorsville police. So that's what you do. You go to the police when you're trying to get help. And it says, went to the Taylorsville Police Department and told the dispatcher that someone was trying to harm him. The Taylorsville Police Chief, Gabe Horn, said Carter made a report and was asked if he wanted to press charges, but he told them no. He instead asked for a ride back to Laurel and a phone charger. His Aunt Felicia said the police department wouldn't give him a ride because it was outside of their jurisdiction. And it says, I don't know where he stayed, but he was out there all night. And that was a quote from the aunt. So when we look at where he was in Taylorsville, where you see the red dot, and he needed to get to Laurel, which was a 28-minute drive from where he was. However, because he did not have a car, he was stranded, his only option was to walk. That was an option, to walk. If he walked, this is the same map, the distance is 6 hours, 7 hours, 6 hours and 59 minutes. So that's 7 hours, a 7-hour walk it would have took him had he been able to try to walk that entire distance. And that's 21 miles, 21.4 miles. So it goes on to say, so this is an account from a combination of his aunt and his mom, says the police also told Rasheem that he could not stay there and allow him to leave. Rasheem went to Junior Food Mart and asked for a ride with no success and began walking. At around 5:50 to 6 a.m. on October the 2nd, of 2020, he went back to the Taylorsville Police Department and asked for help again. So, and I'm filling in some of the blanks. So they're saying that he went to the police station originally when he realized these people were chasing him and he didn't know what else to do. He goes there. They're saying, "Do you want to press charges?" He's like, "Well, this is their story, allegedly," and I ain't believing it, but allegedly, because we got more. We got more to talk about. But they're saying allegedly he did do a police report, but he said he didn't want to press charges. They wouldn't let him stay there even to wait for a ride, and they wouldn't give him a ride to his hotel because it was, as we see, 21 miles away, and they said it was outside of their jurisdiction. I've seen police drive outside their jurisdiction. You got to want to help people, or find a way, or give him some suggestions. I don't know. But anyway, they left him hanging. He comes back the next morning. So now he's been wandering the streets, roaming around or whatever all night. And he comes back, and this time he's asking for a phone charger because he hasn't been able to charge his phone all night. And they sent him, basically said we didn't have a charger for him. They said just sent him on his way, basically. And so the speculation is that he then went to try to go purchase a charger from one of these stores. It says that Tiffany Carter, this is his mom, spoke to her son on the phone around 10:15 a.m. on Sunday, October the 2nd. And Carter's phone seemingly, this is Rasheem's phone, seemingly died around noon. When family and friends finally arrived in Taylorsville to give, when a family friend finally arrived in Taylorsville to give Carter a ride that afternoon, he was nowhere to be found. So they're saying that he left and walked to the Dollar General in Taylorsville where he was last seen. So this is speculation that maybe he was going here to try to find a phone charger to purchase. And it says on October the 8th, the family and friends went to Taylorsville themselves to conduct their own search party. Because at this point, he's now just missing. The last his mom knows, he was waiting on a ride from a friend or relative, and she was able to secure that. And that person shows up and they can't find him. He's nowhere. He's not at the police station. He's not at any of the stores. And now his phone is, I guess, dead at this point. They said, we were told. So now the family has gone there themselves. He's missing. They've gone there themselves to look for Rasheem because they're getting no real help from the police. It says, we were told that there was no footage of Rasheem by the police enforcement, but during our search, we found footage and more. We walked, we asked, we put up flyers and rode our ATVs to no success. We saw rebel flags and encountered a few rude people in our search, but it didn't stop us. We cried, we prayed, we searched. Weeks passed and nothing more was done to help me and my family find Rasheem. It says the video from various businesses show Rasheem in Taylorsville for 14 hours, trying to get out of there for 14 hours before he disappeared. Horn said 1 month later, authorities contacted the family about the deer camera photo of someone believed to be Rasheem walking on private property outside of Taylorsville. The family confirmed it was Carter in the photo. The timestamp was 4:25 p.m. on October 2nd. It says by the picture. Now, this is a quote, I think, from it's either his aunt or his mama. This quote is from, I think it's the aunt. It says, by the picture, you could tell he was in distress, she said. He had on no shirt, and possibly no shoes, and he was carrying a log on his shoulder. It said he looked like someone was after him. I was like, I missed the log on his shoulder the first time, and I was like, is that a misprint of some sort? But now that sounds like torture. It sounds like they had tortured him. That's how he's shirtless now. We're talking October. He's shirtless in a strange town. He was leaving work. He was fully dressed when he left work. And now the next time he's seen, after all the store footage, the surveillance footage, the last footage he's seen on is shirtless, possibly shoeless, carrying a log, looking distressed. And something I read as well was saying that the relative said that his back was bruised up as well. So obviously he had been attacked. And the log, I needed more information on this, how he has a log on it. Like, is he carrying it? What it made me think of is Jesus Christ, when they had him carry his own cross kind of thing. So I don't know. But that threw me off. No matter what, it's a horrible situation for those to be his last moments. Horrible. So it goes on to say, his remains were found on private land deep in the woods off Highway 37 South on November the 2nd. It says someone found what looked to be Rasheem's skeletal remains, as well as a few of his clothing items and private property in Taylorsville, Mississippi. The private property is in no way there. The private property is in no way where Rasheem, and this is the family speaking, Rasheem should have wandered into by himself. There have been statements stating, now this is from the sheriff's department, there have been statements stating foul play not suspected. However, that's not true. So this is where we get into the part of the cover-up. The Smith County Sheriff's Department released a statement on social media that same day and said, "We have no reason to believe foul play was involved, but this case is still under investigation." We have no reason to suspect that foul play was in. What? He literally told, and I don't know if I said, I did say the part of him telling his mom that these white men were after him in a white pickup truck. He comes to the police station and tries to report it. He then is seen on surveillance camera, the last footage piece of it, shirtless, bruised, carrying a log and looking in distress, but you don't suspect any foul play. What kind of bullshit y'all doing? Like, this ain't the 1940s and 20s. Y'all not finna get away with that. Not on our watch. We not doing that. So, y'all. It just reading it just drummed up for me. My family's from the South. My father's from Louisiana and got a whole bunch of relatives, Arkansas, Mississippi, you name it. We all from there. Most, all of us, our relatives. They brought us up north. Or they came up north, and that's how we got here. But I've heard of these stories growing up, and just to see this shit is still, and I'm demonetization, fuck it, I don't care. This some bullshit, and we cannot allow, and that's why I was like, I'm definitely doing this story because we got to get the word out. Justice for everybody who's been harmed. But we need to elevate stories like this as well, because we see that we have power. We have power to push stuff internationally with Shanquilla Robinson and make things go into action that would have just got swept under the rug. We can do that with this too, because these roaches in these southern states cannot continue to get away with these, being monsters. This is crazy. This is some shit I've heard my father's side of the family talk about back in the day of what they experienced and what they knew of. It's no. We're not doing that. So it's time to end that. So it goes on to say, so the sheriff department added later, after that first ridiculous ass post, and this is on their Facebook, "We want to reiterate that this is an ongoing investigation. Other agencies, including NBI, the FBI, have assisted as well." And thank God the FBI, because y'all all need to be locked up. Y'all can't handle this. "All details have been given solely to the mother," probably a lie, "and if and when she wants anything additional released, or if we find anything else, that the public needs to know, we will release that information at that time. Bullshit. It says Carter's mother said the law enforcement failed her son. Given what he told her in the hours before his disappearance, it has been more than a month since his remains were located in Mississippi, and the crime lab just confirmed that they were Carter's remains last week. She said, and she says she has still not received her son's remains so that she can have a burial. And it says, according to the family, the police found a Super 8 hotel key, Carter's wallet, along with his chime card, and what appeared to be a cell phone battery, but not his cell phone, because they got rid of the cell phone, I'm sure. And it says the chime card, she said, had been used to withdraw $500 from the ATM on October 4th. However, the sheriff's office has stated they have no record of that transaction. So on top of that, what is this? 2 days after 2 days after he was last seen, his card was used. So not only did they do this heinous act, but then they took his money too, because they're thugs. They're thugs. They're monsters and they're thugs. So there's some things that have been said. And first I was going to put the guy's picture out, and then I said I'm gonna hold off because I don't know for sure. But it is speculated. Yeah, I'll get to that in a minute. K2 Shy. But yeah, it's speculated that he also allegedly told his mom that it was his boss, I guess, on this new job site, who was the person who was after him. And so there's a picture and the guy's name that's floating out there. Just because I don't know for sure, and I know what happens if you put someone out there on social media, like, and if he is responsible, he deserves whatever comes his way. Don't get me wrong, but I don't want to do it, and it's misinformation, because you know how this stuff go. We've been down this road before, so I don't want to do that. So speculation. Allegedly, he said that his boss on this particular job was responsible. Like, if something happens to me, this dude is, like, I guess, threatening me or whatever. Yeah, it's horrible. So his aunt, now this I think is his cousin. So this is how I found out about it. It just popped up on my timeline on Facebook. So it's slowly picking up steam and becoming viral, which is good. But she posted a message to, and this is just a picture of him as a child. He's the third one in from your left, right? Yeah, your left. And so says, message from aunt to sheriff department. She says he was a business owner and he was an excellent father to his little princess, a great son, a great brother, and just a really great person with a good heart. She says, I said all of that just to say, Smith County Sheriff and investigators, do your damn investigation and stop trying to assassinate Rasheem Carter's character. She says, now, because y'all know how they do. Y'all know how they do when something happens with us. They try to then make us double the victim, re-victimize the victim. And that's what they are trying to do. So she says, she's giving insight. She says, he was not a crystal meth head. Neither was he taking hallucinogens or any other drugs. Y'all going around asking people if he was on. It says the people y'all questions told y'all he was in his right mind. He had just got off of work, and he told a lot of people he was having trouble with the people on his job and he needed to get away from them. These people told my family the same thing when we did our search in Taylorsville. Their stories haven't changed. I'm just wondering when y'all gonna start. When y'all know the southern talking, southern writing. It says, when y'all gonna question the coworkers or anybody from the job? Why is it that y'all want to say my nephew was on drugs instead of trying to find his K words. And, or, yes, he was K'd. It says, so don't even try to come with the bull about the committing the S word. So now they're trying to say, okay, either he was a meth head, he was on some now I can't even say it, hallucinogens, or he may have taken himself out, just like Sandra Bland, right? Ooh, Jesus, y'all. It says out there in the woods on private property because that ish ain't gonna fly with us, right? Y'all, I heard y'all do the same. Oh, I heard y'all do that often in Smith County. Y'all be blessed and have a great day, my people. I wouldn't even put no niceties up in my message to them, son of a. So that was the story. I'm gonna somebody was coming after it was case something, K2 shy. Let me finish this part first. So like I said, so this is in the South, and so I don't know. Those of y'all who are familiar, y'all already know. If y'all grew up like I did, knowing a lot of people from the South, etc., family members, and hearing the stories, you already know. I already know. When I drive, when I do road trips, I'm very mindful of where to go and all of that type of stuff. I don't go too far inland and all of that. There are places that have been known and called Sundown Town. And sundown towns are also known as sunset towns, gray towns, or sundowner towns, are all white municipalities or neighborhoods in the United States that practice a form of racial segregation by excluding non-whites via a combination of discriminatory local laws, intimidation, or violence. And this violence is life-taking violence, not just we're going to rough you up a little bit. So on Wikipedia, it goes a little deeper where it's highlighted below. Y'all probably better see it. It says, whereas a great disorders of burglaries and oftentimes raised and commented in the committed in nighttime by the Indian, Negro, or mulatto servants of the slaves to a disquiet or hurt of Her Majesty's subjects, no Indian, Negro, or mulatto is to be from home after 9 o'clock, meaning be away from home. So anyway, this is where it stems from back in the slavery and Jim Crow and all of that, where they basically turned us, started labeling us as criminals and rape, R-wordists and all of these sort of things. And so you see these towns, mostly in the South, but they're all over. Mostly in the South, but they're all over, where they still are stuck in the past of these mindsets that they've been groomed with, this hatred that they've been groomed with. So just because of the way someone looks, the color of their skin, they automatically become defined as bad or criminals, et cetera, et cetera. And so if these people show up around them, they automatically try to take them out. And they do it as a sign to others. Like, you see what we just did to this one? Don't you come through here. Don't you try it. This is a different world we're in now. But this particular place has quite a bit of a history. I mean, you can tell from this current day shenanigans they got going on, even on their county page here. Yeah, it came up. Oh, that's the wrong one though. So you can see here just from the comments, this is a Smith County sheriff. This is where everything happened, unfortunately, with Rasheem. It says, this is one of their Facebook posts where they says, recently arrested, and they put the guy's name, charged with possession of marijuana and felony possession of a firearm. Now, those ain't even really big. Like in the city, these ain't big things. But you can see the commenters. Great job, Smith County Sheriff, Mississippi. Keep up the good work. Get them all. Well, get all of them. Get all of them. Get all of them? All of who? All of who? Thanks for a job well done. Keep up the good work. Another one. Keep up the good work. Another one. Proud of Smith County Sheriff's Office. You guys are doing great. Why? 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 Because they arrested one of those. It says, then somebody comments, this Portia Norwood says, it's always the I don't even YT folks talking about great job until they son get arrested and they quiet as a mouse. But little Timmy in a room making a bomb now while y'all on Facebook. I thought that was funny because it's true. When they say that when these mass shooters are out here and they get caught, do they be like, great job, get them all? Then you see another one. Now this shows you that the sheriff department got their issues too, of course, because we can see that. Their post, while you were sleeping, these three attempted to evade Smith County deputies, resulting in a vehicle crash Sunday and get the day, blah, blah, blah. I ain't gonna get too much attention to it. But while you were sleeping, we're keeping you safe from them. It's like they're just fanning the flames, just ignorance all around. So the family, you know, it's so much, it's so deep, y'all. It's so many layers, y'all know. Well, those of you who know. But the family does have a GoFundMe, and then I didn't put it in the chat. Let me put it in the chat now. Give me a second, y'all. Give me a second. Let me see. I'm putting it in the chat now. Their GoFundMe. I had a clip. I don't know if I ain't gonna be able to pull it up the way I want to pull it up. But there's a clip of his aunts. You know what? Yes, I can. Hold on, y'all. Give me a second. Just bear with a brother. Let me give y'all a commercial. I'm gonna give y'all a commercial, and I'm gonna pull it up because I think it's important. I want y'all to hear it. All right, I'm back. I found it. Okay, so I'm gonna play this clip for you. This is a clip of Rasheem's I think it's his cousin and an aunt. And they just shared a few things, and they actually talked about the GoFundMe as well. Let me I hope I got it close to. So this is part of the interview, not the entire interview, but the part she starts at is talking about the fact that the mom is still trying to um, get Rasheem's remains from the coroner, and then on top of that, they want to once they get it, they want to have their own autopsy done, of course, in this situation because you can't trust nothing that's happening. And then she talks more into why they have the GoFundMe and some of the things that are needed with it.
Find out any other information as far as an estimated time.
And are you all looking at getting a private autopsy in addition to whatever the state provides?
Yes, we are.
Absolutely. Yeah,
That-
I would do without a doubt. You can't trust the system, especially given the lack of efforts to actually try to help and to figure out what is going on. And I know in that regard, definitely having an independent autopsy is something that is expensive, as well as funeral services and being able to provide. And as I understand, he leaves behind a 6-year-old daughter. Is that right? And
Yes.
so people help.
Yes, he has a 6-year-old daughter, and we've established a GoFundMe. It is listed as Rasheem Carter. The organizer is his other aunt, Felicia Cahoe, and that is for the private autopsy, a private investigator, and also his mom hasn't been able to go to work. I mean, she is stressed. So all of that is for those reasons, but more so the private investigator. The private autopsy. She's already got a quote that's about $4,000, almost $5,000. Right, those things are.
Absolutely, those things are expensive. The justice is so incredibly important.
All right, so I just wanted to play that for you guys because we were talking about the GoFundMe, which is in the chat, and so they're giving explanation of why what the money would be used for. Of course, burial services, but also the fact that they need to have another autopsy done. The mom is understandably unable to work right now. Such, that's a lot to deal with. And then he also has a daughter. I saw someone in the chat real quick glance saying that that was low. Yeah, because I think it's 15,000, right? Yeah, 15,000. So hopefully it'll, go way beyond that. But yeah, that shows that they're not being greedy either, that they're just looking for enough for what they think they need. But again, they need to hire an attorney, so they need way more than that. We're talking they need 6 figures easily. So I want us all to do our part, whoever can. But anyway, I'm going to get into the comments, see what all of you have to say, and then we're going to head on over to our after show, Veil Unfiltered, over on Patreon. So don't forget to come on over there. And if you're not a member, you can still join. Is it pinned? I'll pin it to the top of this chat. But and it's going to be in the description area. It's in the description area of this video, and it'll be pinned as the first comment of this video, but it's also a first comment of every video that you can click on the link and join. So Precious G says, remember to be, yes, please do not use the M word or the K word. Remember to block chat. Don says, he did the right thing by going to the police. They could have given him a ride. Yeah, I've seen police do those sort of things. I'm sure they could have. I mean, they weren't supposed to go there and actually, had they taken him to the next town or whatever, it wasn't like he was asking them to perform a arrest or something. So your jurisdiction, you could drive outside your jurisdiction. They do it all the time when there's a warrant for someone and all of those sort of things. So get out of here with that. First time I've heard about this. Yeah, today was honestly my first time, and I was like, scrap whatever else I had plan for y'all today. I wanted to do my part to get this story out because of the fact it's a month. It's a month old already, and it's not a bigger story, and so I'm starting to see it picking up for sure. So I just wanted to do my part. Exactly. Outside of jurisdiction is BS. Alice is saying this is extremely sad and heartbreaking. Yeah, absolutely. 25-year-old has a daughter, business owner, hardworking, and over hate, just hate. I don't, and I have, I worked in construction. I've had many lives, y'all. Childcare, construction, some other stuff. I ain't thinking of nonprofit, all kind of stuff. But anyway, I worked in construction in my early 20s, and I was on a job site that was extremely racist. I was just baffled at how freely they felt to be racist against me, harassment, the whole trying to be, they trying to act like they cool with you, like all black people say bro and all this other foolishness that they do. Y'all know what they do. But they were just, giving me the butt of the jobs, and just, it was very, very, very uncomfortable. I wasn't scared for my life per se, but it was just a very, very hateful environment to work in. And I did quit eventually. I quit. I was like, yeah, I ain't, Tish W says, sounds like they were toying with him, hunting him down. I totally agree. That's why I titled this the way you put the nail on the head, because as I listened to read and researched what I'd read to y'all, all I could envision was it felt like prey, like he was prey and they were hunting him. And then where his body is eventually found is in a deer field where they go hunting. There's a special place in hell for people like that, I tell you. They could have dropped him off as far as they could take him. They didn't give a damn. Yeah, I agree. 100%. They were all in on it. Every one of them understand they hunt black people. Yes, it's real, just like the movies. 100% agree. Like Get Out. Get Out is kind of calm compared to the real life of what happens in these sort of situations. But yeah, I agree as well. And I know what option did he have but to go to the police station? But the truth is, the police might have been involved on some levels, allegedly. And then the other piece, now I'm again, it's so much because I could really come back with more on this. There's so many layers to this already. There's something I was reading was saying that the boss of one of the suspects is the person who owns the land is a relative of the police people. They have the same last name. They're relatives. Y'all know how they do in them towns though. They're relatives. So it's like a lady, a guy, and the owner of the land that his body was found on. Not a coincidence. And those are the officials who are supposedly investigating this. I'm like, Emmett Till all over again. Just Emmett Till all over again. It's crazy. And these are the stories we're hearing about, because this stuff ain't that this is the first time it didn't happen in 67 years. No, unfortunately, no. This is, thank God for social media that the stories that the media won't really cover, we can get the word out. Next one. Somebody knows. Absolutely. Somebody knows what happens. Joel. Kate, thanks for covering this, Veil. Yes, I felt a duty to cover this. Do we need to send emails to the FBI? I think any correspondence that anyone is comfortable sending is greatly appreciated by the family, because that's what the aunt was saying. There's a cousin on Facebook, and the aunt, they are really pushing, like, we're just trying to get this information out. We're trying to make this go viral kind of thing. That was another reason I picked it up when I was reading that, because I'm like, do our part. So yes, I would say absolutely, if you're comfortable doing those things. Don Smart, yes, my dad had a scary situation back in the day with the police when he was on his way to Louisiana driving through Mississippi at night. Yes. Yep. Yep. I remember them saying, like, remember the green, I don't know, some of you will remember the Green Book. It was a travel book for Black people to let you know where you could go and be safe for getting gas, for getting food, stopping for snacks, etc. when you were doing road trips. And even as a kid, not fully understanding why, I knew that the adults around me would say, well, you know, we can only stop in so-and-so next. You know, some people don't understand what we go through as a people or what we had to go. I'm like, that was ingrained in me, that sort of thinking. And then as I got old enough and started driving myself and got pulled over many times driving while Black, many times, too many to count, to be honest. So it's a real thing. Do they have a GoFundMe? We talked about that. That's in the chat. If somebody can cut and paste and repeat it, that'd be great. Don't all ATMs have cameras? I think they do. I think all of them have cameras. So yes. So I don't think that'll be a problem. I think those are things that they were hoping no one would know or figure out, like, because the police's response was we didn't have any knowledge of that kind of thing. So that stuff can be subpoenaed, and hopefully it's not a privately owned ATM where they can do some shenanigans with the footage or something. Black Queen says they never got over losing the Civil War. Absolutely. Yeah. They never got over losing free labor. Us. Free labor. We built this country. They never got over that. We were supposed to just keep building it and keep working it while they lived like kings and princesses and kings and all of that. Kingdom Girl says, y'all might remember when Oprah came here to Cumming, Georgia. This mess is alive and we're in small towns. You don't want to get caught alone and especially stranded. Yeah, and I heard that about Georgia. It was like, I want to say a year or two ago, I was hearing about that. Like, there's still certain roads, they like stay off of them, et cetera, et cetera. So when I come to Georgia, I'm usually just in the Atlanta area and the surrounding burbs, but I stay on them on the major roads, them highways, them expressways. Marianne says, I live in the South, people. I have to be careful driving through some of the towns. I live in Alabama, and there are some towns here that you don't need to drive through. I won't even drive through them. Yeah. And again, some people like, oh no, racism is over. We've come so far. No, it got. They're under the covers. They're like roaches. You turn off the lights, and you turn on the lights, they scatter. To turn off the lights, that's where they're living and breathing and breeding. And so, yeah, Mississippi still has those. Even in 1995, when I was in the Navy, we had to stay out of certain parts of town. Yeah. There are people, I've had recent conversations where people don't understand. I'm like, you don't understand. You just truly, there are two worlds. This country was not built for us. It was built by us, but it wasn't meant for us. Constitution, all this stuff, that wasn't for us. This is so sad. These small-minded people, man. So we Black people are guilty on sight because of the color of our skin. This whole ignorant mess. Yeah. Yep. Trikesha says, I need to clear out this energy. My heart is heavy. Why does this keep happening to us? Yeah. It's a deep-rooted evilness. It's a spirit. Marvin Gaye said it many years ago. Wake up, everybody. No more sleeping in bed. Yeah. Marianne says the KKK is still big in the South. They just don't say anything about them and keep it hush. Well, and the other thing is, and I was watching, like, I read a lot of, well, not as much recently, but back in the day, I used to read a lot on this stuff. And their real plan, well, it was already happening back in the day with Jim Crow and all the other stuff. But what they have now done is infiltrated where power is. So they are the police chief. They are the fire department. They are our politicians. They've taken off the cone head, the sheet, and put on shirt and ties. They're still here. They're living among us. Like, and that's what people don't get. And that's why we see this foolishness, like putting up a Herschel Walker, like he's, it's to bamboozle us. But that was that's a ploy. That's a ploy of the people who usually are wearing sheets. Like this is all, it's all happening in front of us daily. It just doesn't look the same. They don't, I say this, they don't dress the same. And their tactics, the northern people, they operate different. They ain't, out here hunting us down in quite the same way, unless they become a police officer. And that's a whole nother story. I ain't saying all of them, but enough. We see enough. 15-year-old, I'm forgetting his name now. I ran into that story for the first time today. 15-year-old executed basically in front of a Family Dollar. Cop says he had a weapon. All the witnesses are like, he had nothing. Those sort of things. So that's the modern day version of hunting them down. Carol Chamberlain says, I've done some research on the Green Book and it was really eye-opening to say the least. Still goes on today. Yeah, I mean, it's very unofficial, but there's still, I know places where I need to just keep driving by. I do know that. Trakisha says, I remember when I used to travel for work, my coworker, a male, told me not to drive at night in certain areas. I was like, oh, I was so green. Yeah. And if you didn't grow up that way, I mean, how would you know? How would you know? But that's all I have for this particular live stream. I wanted to come with this story. Continue to please promote justice for Rasheem, and also don't forget the GoFundMe, which I have in the chat, and we'll keep following this story over here. Also, if you're part of the Patreon, I'll see you over there in a minute, in a few, like 9:15, I think I put on there. I'll see y'all over there. And if you're not a part of the Patreon, you can still feel free to join. That's where we'll be at. So with that, until next time, until I upload the next, I'm sorry, but thank you to my moderators and stuff. I'm closing. I'm ready to go so quick. Thank you to my moderators, Alice Bless Child of God, Marianne Coker, Precious G, Don Smart. Hope I ain't missing nobody. If you was in the beginning, I might miss you. But thank you all. And until next time,